Hello everyone. Today I want to talk about jQuery, how to implement it, and how to use it in your project. For start, I made a folder called jQuery, and inside that folder, I made two files called index.html and scripts.js. I made these files and put them into my VS Code. I'm using VS Code to code my project. Other than this, you can use other things uh, or other compilers to make your code, but my preferred one is JS Code with the plugin called Live Server that you can run your script on a live website as a live website, and you can see every change you want in it. So how's my work? How's my code working? So for a start, I made a sample HTML file for you. You can pause the video and copy paste or just write down these codes in your project and code with me as I'm explaining each of them one by one and what's going on here. Or you can have your own codes and practice on your own codes. That would be awesome and great. So I just brought you some examples, but there are many codes and things and features in this library you can use. So jQuery is a library that you can implement into your project. So how to implement it? First of all, you have to go to this website, code.jquery.com, and inside this website, you have access to, this is the latest version, like 351. You have access to this version by clicking on the minified or uncompressed one. So by clicking on the unminified one, you have access to script. You can have this script on your project by copying this script code and pasting it in your paste it in your project and use it later. So how to and where to paste it. So your HTML project should have a head, a body part, and the whole project is in an HTML tag. And so you want the libraries usually to load before your elements are being loaded to be able to access those codes. So you have to put this library code before your body code, body tag, and inside your head. In that case, it would be loaded perfectly and ready to use. Also, I put some class names and IDs on these one because we want to be able to select these items with the help of jQuery and do some changes in it. So that's all you have to do. You have to copy this code and paste it on top of your project, and that would be all. And to be able to use the scripts and the codes in your project, in your current project, you have to connect your HTML page to your script.js codes. That is beside your index.html page. Okay. Okay. Now we will head on to the scripts.js that we connected. And why is it at the end of the code? So the library is being loaded first, and then the elements are being loaded. As you can see in this project, this is the output of my code. And after all of them, I need to use jQuery to make this code, like change this code or do anything you want. You can select anything you want and change it to anything you want. Also, yeah, I loaded it after all of my codes because it needs to be loaded after all the elements are fully loaded and ready to use. If I put these codes before any elements being loaded, I cannot read any of these IDs or anything. I cannot have access to any kind of ID or class name in this HTML page. So that's why you have to load it after all of your codes. Okay, now we go to our scripts. For just an example, I started by making these codes. These are my own examples. You can have your own examples. I just want to show you how you can use and implement it in your own project. Because there are lots of codes and stuff you can have in your project and using jQuery, and it has lots of methods. For example, if you go to the API, api.jquery.com, this is the documentation of the jQuery library. And as you can see, these are all the methods that you can use in your project and have it all by the help of jQuery. So how can we use these methods, and what is exactly jQuery is doing? So with the help of jQuery, you can select any kind of element you want with its class name or with its ID name, or even with a simple tag name like UL. You can mention UL here. But for example, I just used for this example, I used the classes and the IDs for you. So if you go into the scripts, for example, I just used the list to be clickable. This is one of the really useful jQuery features that makes you able to run a function. This is how you run a function by clicking on the item with a class name called list. So as you can see, this is the list I made here, and the class name is list, and the item, the element, is this whole UL. For example, I want to say by clicking on the list, I can select the list again. I want you to hide the list. So by clicking on the item called list, I mean the whole thing, because I put this class name on the whole UL element. Okay, by clicking on the list, I want you to hide the list. So this is another method that we have, for example, for the jQuery. Okay, let's save it and let's try it out. So by clicking on the middle or anywhere of this element, it should be hidden. Good. It just happened. Okay. So it just happened once. That's why after reloading the page, all the elements are coming back, because this hiding just happened once. Okay, for other examples, I put some IDs and mentioned them and ask you to change these. Like, I want you to do the text align to right for this one. Okay, what is this one? It's text align right. Text align right. The ID is blue. Here we're selecting the blue and changing the CSS to text, the CSS part of it, the style part of it, to text align right by clicking on it. And let's try it out. When we click on it, oh yeah, it goes to right. And again, by reloading, it goes back to what it was. Also the same for others. Okay, we call this, we have a list, an item here called list item, and it's a class. And this how are you? We want to add some question mark after how are you, because we want this to be a question, not just a sentence. So how can we do that? With the help of this code called .append, this method adds other elements or other text or anything you want after this selected item. So all of these are happening after clicking on the UL, our list class. So by clicking on here, as you can see, we're adding question marks as much as we want. And again, by reloading, we'll go back to normal. Okay, so we're trying to hide this guy. How can we do that? We just mentioned it before by hiding the whole list. So we're just trying to hide this thing with the ID of hidden. So this is how we select IDs with the help of hashtag or yeah. So by clicking on the list, this element with the ID of hidden should be hidden, actually. It's working. There's no number 3, and it's hidden. Also, we should be able to turn this background into red. I already implement an ID on it called red, and I'm turning the background, I'm using the CSS method, I'm turning the background color into red after clicking. It's all working. Cool, nice. Okay, so here we have the 4th item, but after clicking, this item is not 4th anymore. This is 1, 2, and the 3rd item. If we hide this, I just want to change the content of the page. So how are we able to do that? Like, I don't want this text to be here. I don't want this to be, and this is the 4th one, even if it's the 4th one or 3rd one or whatever. We want to change this. So how can we do that? Okay, by selecting the 4th one, I call this, the ID on this element is 4th. And by using this method called .text, I can change the text to another text like this. Still, by clicking, we're adding the question marks, and that's so cool. Okay, and can you change this to blue with jQuery? Okay, we just have to select you. I call this after. I'll tell you why I call it after. And we have the CSS method. We want to change the CSS and the element with the ID of after by clicking. And yeah, we were able to change the color to blue. Okay, so why did I call this after? Because not every time we have class names on our elements. Maybe they don't have any class names on, and we want to control something on, and maybe we want to change the text. Maybe we want to change the color like we did here. So how is this changing to red? And we don't have any kind of class name or ID on it. How's it changing? What do you think? You can pause the video and think about it. But I'm gonna explain it to you right now. So as you can see here in our scripts, you can also change your selection. So we selected the after. This is the after one. This element is with the ID of after. But we don't want to make changes to this one. We want to make changes to the next one, to the next item that's coming on. So we select this item that has some kind of, I don't know, tag name, class name, or ID on it. We select the element, and by using the .next method, we can change the selection to the next element. And when we are on the next element, we use the uh, CSS method to change its styling and CSS. So that's how is it working. And there are much more things you can do with the help of jQuery. And as I mentioned before, these are all the abilities of and features of the jQuery that you can choose and use them in your project to make your it's really helpful and make your coding really way easier. That's all for now, and if you have any questions, you can put them on the comments below. I can help you with any kind of question if you have, and I hope this thing was helpful to you, and thank you for listening, and wish you a good luck. Thank you.